Welcome, beautiful souls, to the River Daisy realm, a warm, quiet place where the world finally slows down and your inner child gets to breathe again. Here you don't have to be strong. You don't have to hold everything together. You don't have to hide the parts of you that feel scared, tired, or unsure. This space is soft on purpose. It was made for the tender parts of you. In this realm, tarot becomes a gentle guide, a way of understanding the feelings you've carried alone, the wounds you've learned to tuck away, and the emotions your younger self never had the support to speak. Everything we explore here is done with kindness, with slowness, with the softness your inner child always deserved. I read the cards like stories that remind you of your strength, your innocence, your magic, and the truth that you've never been broken, just unheard. So take a breath, unclench your jaw, let your heart drop back into your chest. You are safe here. You are held here. You are allowed to feel here. This is the River Daisy realm, a sanctuary for your inner child, your healing, and your remembering. I'm so glad that you're here. With that being said, let's get started. Spirit, ancestors, guardian angels, and higher beings, please bring through the messages that I need to deliver today for the collective. What is the wound that is rising today in the collective? Please show me one card for the wound that is rising today. We've got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is fiery, passionate, full of ideas, full of energy. He's the part of us that wants to rush, to leap, to chase the next spark before the current one has even settled into form. And the wound that's surfacing today, it's the restless urgency inside you, that feeling of, I need to move, I need to change, I need to do something right now. It's the part of you that burns bright and then burns out. The Knight of Wands teaches us something important. His fire is powerful, but it's often unstable. He starts fast, but struggles to finish. He moves with passion, but sometimes no direction. So the wound here is the fear of slowing down, the fear of standing still long enough to feel the discomfort underneath, the fear that if you stop moving, everything will catch up with you. This card shows us the wound of impulsiveness, chasing instead of grounding, wanting change so badly that you skip the foundation, mistaking motion for progress, fearing the quiet moments, burning yourself out trying to outrun your own emotions. And I want you to see this with compassion, because the Knight of Wands doesn't act like this because he's reckless. He acts like this because he's afraid of staying in one place too long, afraid of failing, afraid of losing momentum, afraid of feeling the emptiness when the flame goes out. So today's wound is the inner fire that's gotten a little wild. The part of you that wants to do everything at once, start everything at once, fix everything at once, and ends up overwhelmed, exhausted, or frustrated when life doesn't move as fast as your spirit does. This card is asking you to slow down just long enough to understand the why behind the urgency, to honor your fire, but also support it, to channel your passion into something sustainable, not something that burns you alive. The Knight of Wands is a beautiful energy, courageous, inspired, bold, full of life. But when it shows up as a wound, it's reminding you that passion needs direction and fire needs a container. Your soul is not telling you to stop. It's telling you to focus, to choose the flame that matters, not the one that distracts. I want you to say this out loud with me. My fire moves with purpose. I choose direction over urgency. I honor my passion by grounding my energy. I am no longer rushing through my life. I am channeling my power with intention. Okay, card 2, Spirit. Where in the body is this wound living for the collective today? Please show me one card for where this wound is living in the body So the place this wound is living in the body today comes through as the Knight of Pentacles, and this is a completely different energy to the Knight of Wands. If the Knight of Wands is full of fire and urgency, the Knight of Pentacles is earth, the muscles, the bones, the weight you carry, the places that feel tight, heavy, or stuck. This wound is living in the parts of your body that holds responsibility. The shoulders that feel like you've been carrying the world, the lower back that collapses when you're overwhelmed, the stomach that tightens when you're trying to stay in control, the jaw that clenches when you're pushing yourself too hard. The Knight of Pentacles teaches us something important. He is slow, steady, committed, but he can also become rigid, stuck, over-serious, afraid to change directions once he's chosen a path. So the wound here is the tension that builds when you hold everything together alone. It's the heaviness of being reliable for everyone else. It's the pressure of always trying to do the right thing, even when you're exhausted. This energy lives in the spine, holding the weight, the stomach, bracing, controlling, the shoulders, burden and duty, the hips, fear of stepping into the unknown, the breath, shallow when life feels heavy. It's a part of your body that tightens because it's afraid that if you stop, everything will fall apart. The Knight of Pentacles is loyal, patient, dependable, but when it shows up as a wound, it reveals the places you've become too responsible, too grounded, too still, too afraid to change anything in case you disappoint someone or lose stability. Your body has become the container for all the commitments you've ever made, and it's tired. This is the wound of overholding, overdoing, overworking, being the steady one even when you need rest. So today your body is asking you to soften the places that have become too tight, too serious, too rigid, to let go even just a little and allow a movement to a return. Because healing doesn't come from holding everything together. It comes from learning when to set the burden down. Affirm this with me and say it out loud. I release the weight I no longer need to carry. My body softens as I let go of responsibility that isn't mine. I honor my strength by allowing myself to rest. I choose ease over pressure and grounding over burden. Okay, card 3, Spirit. Please show me the shadow's message for the collective today. Please show me one card for the shadow's message today. The shadow rising today comes through as the 3 of Swords, and this one goes straight to the heart. The 3 of Swords is one of the clearest images in the entire tarot deck. A heart pierced, exposed, unable to hide what hurts. So the shadow's message here is simple, but confronting. There is still pain you haven't fully acknowledged, not because you are weak, but because you learned to keep moving even when you were bleeding. This shadow shows the places you've told yourself, I'm fine, I've moved on, it doesn't affect me anymore, while a quiet ache still lives underneath. The 3 of Swords teaches us that heartbreak isn't just romantic. It's disappointment. It's betrayal. It's the loneliness of not being understood. It's the wounds from childhood that echo into adulthood. It's every moment where your trust was cracked, your hope dimmed, and your heart closed a little to protect yourself. And the shadow is saying, you didn't fail by feeling hurt. You survived by numbing it. This card reveals the parts of you that still expect pain, the parts that fear being let down again, the parts that hold back love because love once cost you too much. It also reveals self-abandonment, how you silence your own needs, minimize your emotions, or push through heartbreak without ever letting yourself grieve. The 3 of Swords is not here to reopen the wound. It's here to show you that the wound was never fully closed, and the shadow wants you to see the truth. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. You can't rebuild while pretending nothing broke. You can't rise if part of you is still holding the shards of the past. This card doesn't ask for strength. It asks for honesty. It asks you to admit where you're still hurting, where you're still guarded, where your heart is still stitching itself back together. Because the moment you honor that pain, it's the moment it stops defining you. Affirm this out loud with me. I honor the pain I once silenced. My heart is allowed to feel, to grieve, and to heal. What broke me no longer defines me. I am safe to open, safe to soften, and safe to become whole again. Card 4, Spirit, the medicine. Please show me one card for the medicine today for the collective. Please show me one card. The moon. And this is a powerful one because the moon doesn't heal through answers. It heals through truths you feel rather than understand. When the moon appears as medicine, it's telling you that your healing won't come from forcing clarity or pushing for certainty. It comes from learning to move through the places inside of you that feel confusing, emotional, or unknown. The moon is the realm of intuition, shadows, dreams, and the deep subconscious patterns. It brings forward the feelings you've avoided, the fears you've tucked under the bed, the instincts you've talked yourself out of, and the truths that whisper instead of shout. So the medicine here is this. Stop running from what you don't understand. Sit with it, feel it, let it speak. The moon teaches you that healing isn't linear. It's tidal. It rises and falls. It reveals and conceals. It brings old emotions back to the surface so you can finally listen. This is where you learn to trust your inner world again. The Three of Swords shadow showed the ache. The moon now shows you how to move through it. By slowing down, by honoring your intuition, by listening to the feelings beneath the story, by letting your emotions be teachers, not threats. The moon is also medicine for illusion, for the stories you tell yourself when you're afraid, for the assumptions that come from old pain, for the moments where your mind fills in the blanks with fear. This card says, your perception is shifting, let it. Your intuition is waking, trust it. Your emotions are guiding you, follow them slowly. Healing today doesn't come from logic or certainty. It comes from allowing yourself to move gently through the unknown, letting the darkness teach you, letting your instincts rise, and letting your heart speak in ways your mind can't interpret yet. The moon is reminding you that your inner world is not a place to be scared of. It is where your true wisdom lives. Affirm this out loud and say it with me. I trust the wisdom rising from within me. I no longer fear what I feel. The unknown is guiding me, not threatening me. I move gently through the shadows and my intuition leads me home. Card 5, Spirit. Please show me the integration, how to apply the lesson. Please show me how the collective can apply the lesson. We got the Hangman and the Four of Cups. To bring all of today's messages into your real life, we look to the Hangman and the Four of Cups, two cards that seem gentle at first, but together they deliver truth. The Hangman is the energy of surrender, pause, and perspective. And the Four of Cups is the energy of emotional withdrawal, introspection, and the quiet dissatisfaction that rises when your soul is craving something deeper. So how do we apply the lesson today? We stop trying to force movement, and instead we create space for clarity to arrive. The Knight of Wands wound showed the urgency, the rushing, the impulse to leap before you're ready. The moon showed the need to sit with the unknown. Now the Hangman asks, stop pushing. Let life show you what you're not seeing. This is the part of your healing where you intentionally slow yourself down on purpose, so you can receive the insight you've been too busy or too overwhelmed to hear. The hangman asks you, pause your reactions, release your grip on control, look at your situation from a new angle. Stop assuming you already know the answer. Be willing to hang in the in-between for a moment. And then the Four of Cups adds the emotional layer. You've been so focused on what isn't working that you've been unable to see what is being offered to you. This is the card of emotional fog, not depression, but the quiet something feels off feeling that makes you withdraw, shut down, or lose interest. And the lesson here is this. You don't need to make a big move today. You don't need to rush into a decision. You don't need instant clarity. What you need is stillness, honest reflection, and a willingness to see what you've been overlooking. The integration today is pause before acting. Sit with your emotions instead of running from them. Let your perspective shift naturally. Stay open to the possibility that something better is trying to appear. Don't reject the intuitive nudge just because you don't understand it yet. The hangman says, let go. The Four of Cups says, look inward. Together they ask you to soften your urgency, honor your sensitivity, and allow a new truth to reveal itself, not through action, but through presence. The lesson is applied by choosing stillness over impulse, reflection over reaction, intuition over fear, and awareness over avoidance. This is a day of spaciousness, a day of insight, a day of shifting from rushing to receiving. Say this out loud with me. I choose stillness over urgency. I trust the pause, the shift, and the space in between. I release what I cannot control, and my heart is open to what I have not seen yet. Clarity comes when I am ready, and I am ready to receive. So today's story is the journey from urgency to stillness, from pressure to presence, from buried hurt to gentle honesty, from rushing ahead to finally listening within. And the message is simple. Slow down. Feel what wants to be felt. Let the truth rise naturally. Your clarity is coming. Not through motion, but through surrender. Thank you so much for being here with me today and for spending this time exploring your inner world and your healing. Every time you show up for yourself like this, even in small ways, you're rewriting your story. And I am truly grateful that you choose to walk this part of your journey with me. If today's reading resonated deeply, if you felt something rise to the surface, if you're ready to understand your wound on a more personal level, I do offer private one-on-one readings where we go much deeper together. We explore the root of your wound, what's rising in your body, what your shadow is trying to teach you, and the medicine your soul needs to shift and heal. It's powerful work, and I would be honored to guide you through it. And if you're drawn to my art, my healing creations, or any of my mystical pieces I bring to life, you can find everything over on my website, www.riverdaisy.com.au. There you'll find my artwork, my spiritual tools, my offerings, and the heart behind everything I create. Thank you again for supporting this channel, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and most of all, for allowing your heart to rest here in the River Daisy realm. Until next time, take a breath, honor your truth, and keep walking your path of healing with courage and softness. I'll see you in the next reading. Much love. Goodbye.